Hi, I'm Elwin and welcome to Lionheartherbs. Thank you for your time. I'm really grateful for it. I know how important it is, I know how precious it is, and I'm really here to bring you the most essential, valuable information that I possibly can to enhance and improve your life in every way. So first of all, a quote. If you can make and drink a cup of tea, you can radically enhance and transform your life and your health. Does it sound like an overly bold claim? Well, let me introduce you to Taoist tonic herbs. Taoist tonic herbs have got a history of over 5,000 years effective use. They're used by over 1.4 billion people in the world today. They're used by the rich and the famous. I personally have worked with many people who are in the arts, people who are writers, performers, actors, musicians, singers, dancers, people who are in sports, professional golfer, martial arts instructors, yoga instructors, people who are firemen, people who are entrepreneurs, bodybuilders, nurses, housewives, husbands, mothers, basically anyone who's looking to really improve their health, who's looking to really enhance themselves and be the very best they can be, is definitely going to benefit from these Taoist tonic herbs. So you may be asking, why haven't I heard about these herbs if they're so amazing? Well, a lot of the reason is because until very recently, for thousands of years, China, where a lot of this ancient wisdom has come from, has been very insular and very secretive. They've really kept all their wisdom, all their knowledge to themselves. And as a result of that, these things are only just becoming aware to us in mainstream mass consciousness. Another example of something like this is martial arts, which until recently was seen as something magical, mystical, something we couldn't even comprehend, let alone do. And then, of course, in the 70s, a man came along called Bruce Lee, and what he did is he made that available for the public, and now it's something that's common, mainstream. We understand it's an art, it's a science, anyone can do it if they've set their mind to it, and we understand it has immense value and immense benefit for us if we practice it. So there's an example of something else, and Taoist herbs are something even more incredible, because unlike martial arts, they can truly benefit anyone and everyone. Now, another question you may have is, how do they work? Well, they work by balancing and enhancing the body's energy levels. Now, a Taoist premise, which may be very hard to believe for you and from a Western perspective, is that there is no such thing as a lack of energy. No such thing as a lack of energy, you say? What? What about the way I feel on Monday morning, or a Saturday morning for that matter, after a Friday night out? You can't tell me there's no such thing as a lack of energy. Well, what I mean by that is that there's no such thing as a lack of energy. All there is energy blockages, and energy being stuck, and energy being imbalanced. So the energy isn't going to where it needs to go for you to feel good, for you to thrive, for you to do all you want to do, and for you to be all you can be. So that's what's so amazing about these Taoist tonic herbs. What they do is they free up that energy, they let it flow again, and they let it flow to where it needs to go to, which is particularly the organs of vitality and the meridians which go through the body. Now, all this talk of energy and balance and harmonizing meridians may not sound very scientific, but let me reassure you, everything that I supply to you from Lionheartherbs, all the herbs, are scientifically proven to be effective. Okay, there's been an immense amount of research, especially in the last 30 years, about these herbs, and they have been shown to be really effective. From a Western medical perspective, we may not always understand how, but from an Eastern medical perspective, from a Taoist perspective, we do, and it's by harmonizing and enhancing the body's energy flow. That's what it's all about. So at Lionheartherbs, we have 5 different formulas. They're the very basis of what we do. They relate to the 5 elements and the 5 organ systems in Taoist medicine. So one of them is called Serenity, and that relates to the heart organ system. One of them is called Rejuvenate, and that relates to the kidney organ system. One of them is called Strength, and that relates to the spleen organ system. One of them is called Cleanse, and that relates to the liver organ system. And one of them is called Immune, and that's related to the lung organ system as well as the kidney and spleen organ system to some degree. So these 5 formulas in combination or on their own are going to be the things that completely transform your health. Now I'm going to give you a detailed description of what they do, what they're for, what their benefits are when I talk about each formula individually. But let me just tell you now, each of them is incredible in their own right. Now, you may not be sure about which of them to go for. You may be thinking, oh, I have problems in all these areas, oh, I don't know. Sometimes you're going to need to take them in combination. So an example would be if you're exhausted if you're really tired, you're going to need to recharge your batteries. And for that, we have the Rejuvenate formula. That's the thing that's going to help you to feel like you have energy again, like you have some reserves again. But then the other thing is to look at why you're exhausted in the first place. And often that's going to be because you're pushing yourself too hard. You're just going and going and going without a break. You're not resting enough. And this is a problem that we often find with very ambitious people, very successful people, that they eventually exhaust themselves because it's like the equivalent of having your foot on the accelerator the whole time. You eventually just burn out. And as a result of that, then that's when we become depleted. So in order to make up for that depletion, we want to build up the kidney energy. But in order to stop it happening again, what we want to do is we want to cool down the heart, calm down the heart, so that our passions are definitely still there, but just manageable and aren't exhausting us anymore. Another example is if you might be tired or bored or listless or lacking ambition. In that case, again, you're going to need to build up that reserve energy. You're going to need to build up that kidney energy. You need to recharge your batteries. And that would be the equivalent of like fuel, so that would be like a candle. But then you also need to really get yourself going again. And for that, we want to use the liver's energy. We want to create a spark. It's going to be the equivalent of like lighting that candle and getting it burning. For that, we use the cleanse formula. So as you can see, often you're going to have to combine these formulas to really get the result you want. If you have any uncertainty about which formula to use, please do feel free to contact me. I'll reply to you in a timely manner and let me know as well whether this is public or private. If it's private, I will of course respond to you privately. If this is public, then I'd really like to share the answer with everyone because there's a good chance that there's a lot of other people who have exactly the same issue that you do. And I'd really like everyone to be able to share in this knowledge and information. Let me talk to you now about the importance of consistency. Now, consistency in taking Taoist tonic herbs is absolutely crucial. We want to be having them as often as possible, preferably every day, and 6 days out of 7, really at a minimum, 5 days out of 7 is pushing it, in order to have those results that we're really after. In order to really transform our health and enhance our lives, we want to be having them as often as possible, every day preferably. Now, tonic herbs are very different from the normal herbs that you may have come across before. In Taoist tonic herbalism, you have two classes of herbs, basically. You have the superior herbs and the inferior herbs. Now, the tonic herbs, the superior herbs, stop diseases happening in the first place because they resolve imbalances before the diseases occur, while medicinal herbs only deal with symptoms. They look at diseases once they're already there. A medicinal herb is actually a mild poison, or sometimes even not so mild, and that's why we want to be careful when we take it. We only want to take it under supervision of a trained herbalist or other medical professional, while the tonic herbs are more like a food in that you can have as much as you like. And they work by building up the body's strength slowly and surely. So small steps every day you have more, and you'll find that within the space of 90 days, 3 months, they're going to have completely transformed your life. Amazing. So here is my guarantee. If you take these herbs consistently for 90 days in a row, and you don't experience a significant shift in your health, and in fact a significant shift in your life, I will give you your money back. No quibbles, no worries, because I am so certain that if you take these herbs consistently, you will have amazing results. Lionheartherbs is committed to becoming the #1 information resource on the internet. We're looking to provide the very latest cutting-edge, groundbreaking information and strategies, as well as all the ancient wisdom which is only very recently being rediscovered. Now, I mentioned earlier about how I really wanted your questions. This is because I really want to know what it is that you care about, because there's so much information already out there. I mean, everything you could possibly want to know is out there, but the issue is finding it, selecting it, and also knowing it's accurate. So I guarantee to you that whatever your question, I will find you an answer that's accurate, based not just on hearsay, but based on scientific evidence, based on experience of myself, of my clients. And lastly, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I really want to say how amazing it is that you've taken this journey with me, and you're going to continue to take this journey with me and Lionheartherbs to really become the very best you can be, to reach a peak state of health, a peak state of energy. I'm really glad that you've given me the opportunity to get you from a cycle of energy depletion, which is just so sad and so unnecessary, to a cycle of energy abundance where every day is just a matter of how do I feel better today, not if I feel better today. So thank you very much, and I really look forward to your involvement in Lionheartherbs.